Okay, so I just watched the Sinister movies today. The first one came out in 2012. I did originally see that in the cinema. And then the second film came out in 2015, and I've only just watched that for the first time tonight because I'd heard bad things about it. And to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of that first film anyway. But what did I think about these films? They're very average, let's just put it that way. My last video I was talking about the Purge movies, and it was a similar thing where basically I'd heard negative reviews. It put me off wanting to watch them, but I kind of decided, oh, what the hell, I'll give them a watch. And I actually liked them. Can't really say the same for Sinister, to be honest. They do have kind of a negative review following, and I can totally see where that's coming from. I mean, if you haven't seen them, basically, the first film in particular is an interesting spin on the found footage genre. Obviously, a found footage movie like the Blair Witch Project, from start to finish, the whole film is the footage that has been found being presented to you. Sinister, on the other hand, is a movie about somebody who finds some footage, and when he's watching it, the film will kind of shift, and instead of it being you're watching him watching the film, just the film comes up on screen. Obviously not the first time that's been done in any kind of movies or television, it's been done before, but the way that this is presented, especially nowadays when you've got these found footage movies coming out, a lot of them being quite popular, this is an interesting way of spinning that. And it works quite well, but it could have been better, let's just put it that way. And I mean, the film itself benefits from a number of things. I mean, Ethan Hawke in the first film, he's a very good actor. He was in the first Purge movie. And similar thing really, not a great movie, but obviously elevated by his performance in this because he's a great actor. If you've seen him in films like the Assault on Precinct 13 remake and Training Day, that's kind of acting that you get in this. So whenever you're seeing something and it's a little bit creepy in the found footage, it kind of benefits from him watching it as well and getting shocked by it. So definitely something that I would say is a positive. Also, Scott Derrickson directed the first Sinister movie and also wrote the film as well. And Scott Derrickson is quite a good film director. He did Doctor Strange last year, the Marvel movie. And I would say if you like Doctor Strange, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to like Sinister. They're two very different types of films, but it does show that he's a very good, talented writer and director. So the first movie, again, a couple of specific things anyway. It does have some very creepy things going on, but as I say, the execution isn't brilliant. I know Spoonie over at the Spoonie Experiment originally back in 2012 when the first Sinister movie came out, I recall him saying how certain bits in the film could have benefited by just being done in, well, silence basically, but instead they use a really cheap jump scare tactics of, you know, he'll be walking around in the house with the lights off, you know something's going to happen but you don't know what, then all of a sudden something jumps out and there's a really loud jarring orchestra sting, the music goes da-da kind of thing, and it's really cheap and it's really overdone in horror movies today, and it's not earned as well, you know. It doesn't take a lot to do that. I could edit an orchestra sting into this video right now, make it real loud, and you'd probably jump. That's not clever, it's not, you know, great way of making scary movies basically. It's cheap and it's lame, and they do that in Sinister. And it's a real shame because it does feel like if they'd have played certain scenes out without the orchestra stings and they just had creepy shit happen visually, that would have been so much more atmospheric and creepy and jarring. But they didn't do that, and it's a missed opportunity. Spoonie made that point, like I say, and I do definitely agree with that. Now, there is a sequel, and again, like I say, I only just saw this for the first time tonight, and this is something I've been warned off watching because apparently it was god-awful. Well, yeah, it's not great. I mean, if you thought the first one was very average, the second one is extremely average. Not really much great to say. I mean, it's written by Scott Derrickson. He didn't direct the second one. It was a guy called Kieran Foy. And I've seen worse, don't get me wrong. I wasn't offended by it in any way. I didn't think, good God, what have I just spent the last 90 minutes watching here? It was more kind of drama and kind of creepy horror that again, wasn't executed very well. It was executed even less effectively than in the first movie. But one thing I did like about the second one was they brought this character back from the first film, and he was a police deputy that helped the Ethan Hawke character, and I did actually like his character as well in that first movie. So it was great that they brought him back, but it wasn't enough to carry the movie, unfortunately. And like I say, if you're thinking of watching these movies, I can't recommend it. I can't say, yeah, I recommend watching these movies. I can't recommend against it either. I'm not saying don't watch it, you will not like it, because I still found them vaguely entertaining. The first one I've seen a few times now, to be honest. But yeah, not really something I'd be rushing to watch again. It's one of the things I'll probably watch it once every few years or something. But that's pretty much my review anyway. Don't really have much else to say about these movies. They're just very, very average. And probably should have done this video last week when I was doing the Halloween special. If you didn't catch that at Brandix Reviews, check that out. I'll leave this right there anyway, because I think I'll just end up saying more of the same, because it's hard to review these movies when there's not really much to say. So yeah, like I say, Brandix Reviews, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube obviously, and Instagram, but for now I'll leave it there and say thank you very much for watching.